What is up, home slices? How's everybody? Hope you all had a great weekend. Listen, I'm going to get right to it because another extraordinary day just using our VWAP and something that we like to call the multi-day VWAP. But this was kind of a range-bound reversion VWAP type of day. Again, what I spend most of my days right now is showing the people my style of trading that I've been doing for 20 years and how VWAP has helped it along. And of course, with the blessings of the VWAP Emperor, we have something called the multi-day VWAP, which we've tweaked a little bit from our pal Solid Jello in our room. But right from the bat, we come in the morning and we see the market's gap down pretty big. So we're thinking, hey, probably look to buy something at the open. You don't buy anything right at the open. We wait for something to happen. And the first thing we saw was the Dow Jones getting above the VWAP right there, at around 9:55 and start to break the opening range. So we got long some diamonds. And, again, I'm pretty content with taking 30-cent trades, 40-cent trades on my first one. So quickly took a hit, a little profit on the diamonds, and then progressed over to see Twitter. And if you see what happened with Twitter, Twitter made a massive move right from the open. So again, normally I'm looking at the same stocks: Twitter, U.S. Steel, Rig. The handful of stocks that I look at this point. So because I missed the trade, what am I waiting for? I'm waiting for a reversion back to the VWAP to see if it would hold. Lo and behold, here it is. So you buying it here? No. You buying it here? No, I wasn't buying it here, buying it here. But after 3 or 4 candles as it was holding, now I have an out. So I have an in and an out. I'm buying on this candle right here as it's breaking above the prior candle. So it was 34.10 was my entry. And what I do is I'll use a stop of 34.05, a nickel risk on 500. And then on the other 500, I use the bottom of these candles, which happens to be the whole number. So I'm buying 1,000 shares at 34.10 with 500 stop at the VWAP, which was a nickel, and another 500 stop at the 34, or really it was 33.99. So collectively, on 1,000 shares, risking 5 cents on 500, 5 cents on the other, 10 cents on the other 500. So do the math, not risking too much money. And what was our reward? Well, we were looking for a retrace to test the highs of the day, and we got it. So here was our entry at 34.10. And once it got back up to that 34.40 area, that's where I started looking to sell. And then when it broke it, I looked for the half number, which is where we got this 34.58, 59, 60 candle, and we were out of the stock. And not a bad exit at 34, 34.40 and 34.52. It, tacked on a little bit more. And then guess what happened? Reversion back to the VWAP. Here's another one that we've been holding on a swing trade, AAOI. If you look at most of these charts, these are stocks that have gotten beaten up in the past. I love these stocks because when they start to come back, you'll have a chart that looks like this. On the right-hand side of your chart, you're looking at a stock that I think is about to break out. It's found the bottom, broke the range. We started getting involved, in the 27.50 area as it broke through and made this huge candle. They think there was a takeover rumor. Takeover rumor subsided, but the stock never rolled over and died. So we bought some more at 31, and we've been in it ever since. And we got a double top here so far, but we're looking for it to break out and reclaim around 39 bucks, possibly looking for 42, 42.50. But for today, it was just another trade that we had missed at the open, but we got the VWAP pullback. And then it broke the VWAP, and at this point, you're not thinking buy here because you're thinking it's going to go lower and possibly test the whole number. Never got that opportunity to buy it here, but when it did get back over the 1 minute, I figured, okay, looks like the shorters are in trouble again. Let's buy some here at 35.30. And again, not a big trade, 20 cents here on, 400 shares. And this is what we do. You can make a ton of money on these trades. I'm just here to set the trade up for you. And again, if you're trading in a $3 million account, chances are you'll be buying more than 400 shares. But then later in the day, I'll give you one more. I'll give you two more. The diamonds, I'm always watching the diamonds. So here are the diamond charts on the day. And I'll be the first to admit, there was no doubt in my mind we were rallying from the open. I thought we'd probably go green and happily probably have a 200, 300 point up day. But I don't speculate anymore. So when the market started to fade and then tried to break out and then suddenly rolled over, but it held the VWAP, but then it got back to the VWAP, broke the VWAP, and broke the bottom of the last prior range. And then more importantly, when it broke the bottom of the range from the morning, it was time to go short using the VWAP as the stop. And next thing you know, the diamond short became a great trade. So all that in, we did all right. And then later in the day, we found CODX, which is another, some weird stock. I don't normally trade these. But because it was in play, I had my eye on it. And, once it started to roll over and break the VWAP, you figure this thing's going to just, give back half the move. And it pretty much did, from 330 all the way back down to 250. But suddenly the buyer showed up at 250. And again, I'm not buying it at 250 or 260 or 270. Gets through the 1 minute at 288. And at this point, I'm looking for a retrace back to the high prints from where it came. So I figure, okay, if I'm buying it here at 288, I'm going to go and use, a 7 or 8 cent stop on a $2 stock. It's reasonable. Giving myself 6 cent risk on the first 500 and give myself, 10 cents on the other 500. Never had to worry about that because once it got over the VWAP, it got right to where I thought it would go, and I sold it. And I thought it was a really great sell because here you got it pulling back, but next thing you know, it's spiking up another almost 20%. So it was pretty incredible. But once again, we had 4 trades today, 4 winners, and here's the one loser, was HLF, and this was because we overstayed our welcome because it had a massive down move at the earlier in the morning, and then it had this dramatic comeback. So once it got over the 1 minute and the multi-day and broke the top of the range, I'm thinking I got to be long this stock. So at 49.75, I'm buying it. Obviously, I was looking for 50, but then 50 immediately broke. So I figured, let me hang on. And then I got this huge candle in my face. And next thing you know, getting stopped out at 49.35 for about $1.20 loss, about $120 loss. But all in, a positive day, sticking with the strategies, making sure that we don't let our losses get a little bit out of hand. Because again, if we wouldn't have taken the loss here, it would have been basically a $700 loss instead of a $120 loss. So there are things called good sells and good losses. And if you don't know that, now you know. And that's a really big part of trading. All right, I'll see you in the room.